Are we on? Okay. So apologies for not turning on the microphone and apologies for having the wrong date on the cover slide. It is October 16th, not September 18th. With that correction, we'll move forward to the next agenda item. Vice Chair, will you please lead us in the SAFE protocol?
Yep. So in an effort to acknowledge, it's called the SAFE acknowledgement. And as a tribute, we would like to ask all service members of the military to stand up to be acknowledged. Thank you all for your service and your continued service to this county and to this country. And we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We will now move to the roll call. Ms. Guerrero, when you have time, when you're ready, we'll start the roll call.
Commissioner Crooks,
Present. Son?
Commissioner Palmero,
Present.
Commissioner Jackson Kelly, Commissioner McFadden, Commissioner Almond,
Present.
Commissioner Falmer,
Present.
Commissioner Zato, Commissioner Noyola, Commissioner Gutierrez,
Present.
Commissioner Chavez, Chair, you have a quorum.
Great. Thank you very much. With that, we'll move to the approval of the minutes. It should be in your commissioner packet. If commissioners want to take a moment to review, and then we'll need a motion and second to move forward.
Vice Chair Fulmer approves.
Motion.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Crooks, second that motion.
Vice Chair Fulmer moves. Commissioner Crooks seconds. Stephanie, when you're ready, we'll have a roll call vote. Thank you.
Commissioner Crooks,
Accept.
Commissioner Palmero,
Approve.
Commissioner Jackson Kelly,
Approve.
Commissioner McFadden, Chair Almond,
Approve.
Vice Chair Fulmer,
Approve.
Commissioner Chavez, Commissioner Gutierrez. Minutes approved.
Great. And then moving forward with county council's guidance, we will receive public comment on the minutes. Do we have anyone in person that would like to make a public comment regarding approval of the minutes? Okay. No one in person. Is there anyone online that would like to make a public comment regarding approval of the minutes? Seeing none, and we have no written comments on this agenda item. So we'll move forward to the chair report. Okay. The notice of meeting for today went out on October 11th, 2024, not 2014. There's a lot of date problems getting these slides together today. I apologize. At 2:30. So again, if you hopefully you received the email, which sent the invitation link, which is why you're with us today. But if not, you can go to mva.lacounty.gov. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see next to the social media icons, there's an envelope that you can click and subscribe to the department's newsletter. You'll get information from the department as well as notice of meetings for future commission meetings. On the topic of meetings, we're approaching the end of the year, and I know that the holidays are coming up. Currently, we are scheduled for November 20th, 2024 and December 18th, 2024. Hopefully I got those dates right. I'll double check, but commissioners, if you could let Stephanie know your availability those dates. I know it is close to the holidays. We might have to adjust fire and do maybe a special meeting just to get us away from too close to the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or whatever you celebrate. So the reason why I mentioned that in terms of making sure that we have a quorum is I think we have a few upcoming business items to take care of. Last meeting, we discussed draft recommendation 8, which was not approved. I intend to revise the recommendation per the discussion that we had at the last meeting and bring it forward for another vote. So, hopefully we can do that in November. We also have some additional guidance from County Council regarding our bylaws, which I have to integrate into the draft. That is my fault. I have not done that yet. I've been pretty busy with daily duties, but I will get that done for our next meeting. And then this isn't an item for the commission, but if you recall, a few months back, we asked Commission Services to change our calendar from fiscal to calendar year. Did I get that right, Stephanie? In terms of the annual report, we have a reporting requirement. And so the chair and the vice chair will work on an annual report. That's more on the leadership's end, not for the commissioners, but I'm sure we'll distribute a draft just to get everyone's feedback. But that's something that happens at the end of the year. I also wanted to touch on instructions for written comment because this is again some new guidance. If you have, if you read the agenda and you want to make a comment on an agenda item, you can also email a written statement to the commission secretary, and the email address is here on the slide. And we only ask, just to keep things organized, that you identify the item number as well as public comment in the email subject. So for example, if you wanted to discuss something regarding item 7, the subject line would say item 7 public comment, and then a copy will be distributed to the commissioners in the commission packet. Commissioner Crooks, I think last time we talked about having a printout in the packet. So the commission is not obligated to read those written comments out loud, but the commissioners will receive it. And if you want to read it out loud, I think that's something that you could do at your discretion. With that being said, we'll move forward to public comment on the chair report. So if there's anyone here in person that would like to make a public comment regarding the chair report. Seeing no comments in person, do we have anyone online? If you're online and you want to make a comment, could you please raise your hand? No online comments, and we have no written comments. So with that, we'll move forward to general public comment. So if you're a member of the public and you want to speak on any matter that maybe isn't necessarily on the agenda itself, this would be an opportunity to do so. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to make a comment? Sir? No? Okay. No one in person. And I believe we have a few people registered online or registered through the notice of meeting. So I'm going to call those names here in a moment. Okay. Is Che available online? Apologies if I mispronounce. Yamani Berry, Che Yamani Berry from SD4. Okay. Jose Guerrero, SD2. Are you online? Denitza James.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So once we have you unmuted, I will start the timer and you'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for being here and ready when you are.
Thank you. Thanks for allowing me this opportunity to speak on the opportunity that we are offering to military veterans and their families in LA County. We are an organization, our name is Repatriate Our Patriots, and we are working with immigrant defenders. It is a law and immigration law firm that is located in Los Angeles. We are currently looking for veterans and families who need naturalization assistance. And the reason why I felt this was an appropriate forum to bring it up is because a lot of veterans may not, a lot of community members may not be aware that military veterans are being deported due to not have completed their naturalization process while they were in service. So what our organization is doing is helping those veterans who are seeking immigration assistance or legal consult and support for free, and as well as their family members. And we are currently searching for any currently live in or have lived in the past or plan to return to LA County veterans who may need that assistance, the service provided. Our organization has a database that has close to 400 veterans that are currently deported or in deportation proceedings because of them not obtaining their naturalization while on active duty. So we want to make sure that we do something to prevent that in the future. So if I am going to share the flyer that we currently have in the chat, and if anyone has any questions regarding the services available, I'm open for questions, but please share this resource with your communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the public comment. And we'll move forward with Sue Myers. Is Sue online? Okay. Okay. So we'll move forward with other individuals online that want to make a comment. Scott Peterson, is that correct?
Turn my mic off.
Okay. We
Okay.
have you. So whenever you're ready, we'll begin the timer.
Okay, can I just, is it all right if I show a couple slides along with what I'm saying? It might help a lot. There's,
I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know if we have that capability.
oh, you just have to turn on my, I'm kind of new to meetings myself, or Google Meet, but I think you just have to turn on my share button. This can be hard for me to discuss this without being able to have a couple of visuals. My share button
I-
is like faded out right now. Oh, are you still there? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we're just trying to figure
Go
that. I
ahead.
don't know.
You should be able to be presenting now.
Yeah,
There we go.
I-
Oh, there we go.
I'm sorry. One second. So I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if we can do that. Can we? Sir, would it be
What?
okay if we did not do that this time around until we get clarification from county council? Because I'm not sure if we have that capability. Is that okay?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why. I mean, somebody could put up something inappropriate or something, but it's gonna be very difficult for me to do this otherwise. But I guess I can try.
Would you rather submit a written comment and then you could submit the slides?
No, that's okay. I'll give it a shot. So it's really a pleasure to reach out to you all, staff and commission today. This is a little strange, so maybe it'll liven up the agenda a little bit, but I wanted to show a few slides to see to gauge if there's any interest on the part of staff or commissioners to reach out to me. I put my name and I have a email and phone number attached to this project. But basically, it's going to be really hard to do. But I manufacture and design and install clean rooms or containment secondary engineering controls. Before that, I was for a long time a public artist, and I was sole sourced by counties and cities to do artwork in public spaces and parks and playgrounds, that type of thing. And basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the Creative Strategist program with the county, but I wanted to reach out and see if the MVA was interested or any of the commissioners were interested in hearing about a proposal towards working on a Creative Strategist program with this department. And if you're not familiar with that, it involves artists kind of involving themselves in non-arts aspects of a department and sort of bringing in a different perspective. And that's actually been my experience on a lot of public works projects, that the artist seat, it's not even really that important who occupies it, but that you have sort of this, everybody has their specific jobs to do, and it's nice to have somebody that isn't in that situation sometimes. But basically, my clean rooms, which I can't show you, I have my own technology for building those. And for a long time, I was one of a few people that started the first homeless shower program on the Central Coast. We started second one as well, both very successful. And we got to see what it was like to, in mutual aid type situation, really just get work on the ground and see how that affected people. And for a number of years, I've been, between my clean room technology and the experiences that I've had in public works projects, I've been putting together a concept that I became an EMT, I just figured out 43 years ago. And actually I have a long family history of civilian contributions to the military, and I have big shoes to fill when it comes to that. And I was hoping that this project might help with that, is to what it is basically, I don't know if you're familiar with alternate care sites, but you might be familiar with them because they came into play during COVID, the pandemic. Basically, they're an ambulatory care. They're federal, they're HHS and Army Corps of Engineers guideline. It's a way to deal with systems that are overwhelmed. So I'm probably going over
Sir, we're
time.
sorry
Okay.
we're out of time, but I think, one thing we can do, Stephanie, can you drop your email in the chat? And then that way, if you want to submit a written comment, then we'll be able to see the visuals that you suggested.
It actually is in the written comment. You can insert pictures into that.
It's an email, so you could just send an email.
It's just an
Okay.
email.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Peterson, this is Jim Zenner. I'm the director of the department. When you reach out to Stephanie, we can set up a time to have a conversation. Thank you for
Okay.
being here today.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry for the confusion there. I had never received that kind of request before, but I think we'll have to ask county council about that. Is there anyone else here online that would like to make a public comment? And we're checking. No? Okay. And then we have, at this point in time, no written comments for public comment. So I think hearing no more comments, we'll move forward to the next agenda item, please. Okay. I think today is going to be the first time in a long time we're going to receive a full department report. Usually we have a lot of guest speakers to kind of dig into the department's time. So we look forward to Director Zenner's update, and the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Chair. I admittedly am not ready for a full report, but I will. Hopefully, we can make it interactive, and you guys have questions, and your constituents in each of your districts have concerns. So happy to have a back and forth on this. I think first and foremost, we have a claims clinic coming up on the 22nd and 23rd of this month, next week, at Magic Johnson Park. We specifically did not have the claims clinic with the VA stand down. The VA homeless stand down is on the West LA campus. We know a lot of our veterans live everywhere else in the county. So that's why we separated it, those two events, despite focusing on homeless veterans, veterans experiencing homelessness for this clinic. We chose specifically South LA and Supervisorial District 2 because our Black veterans are overrepresented almost 3 times in our veteran homeless population. And so we wanted to go where we could reach our most veterans experiencing homelessness to get them connected to care. What we've seen in same-day clinics throughout the country is there's a large number of veterans who can potentially get a same-day adjudication on their claim. We'll have about 20 VSOs that can put together the claim on site. We'll have a medical examiner from VBA on site to do medical examinations, and then there will be raters from both Calvet and the VA standing by to adjudicate claims. We're also going to be providing childcare on site. We're very happy to partner with the Department of, or not the department, but the Disabled American Veteran Chapter 5, who has that service. Just a little pitch. We really want to partner with VSOs, American Legion, DAVs, VFWs, that can provide a service so that we can go through them for things like transportation, childcare, because we see keeping the money within the VSOs. VSOs do a great job of supporting their membership and the financial needs or urgent needs that their membership has. So we want to partner with more VSOs around providing commodities for the department. We're also going to be providing food for the 2 days. On the 23rd, there's going to be a short speaking session. We have the Secretary of Calvet, who's going to be here providing comments, Lindsay Sin. And then we also have the Undersecretary of VA Benefits, Joshua Jacobs, who will provide some comments as well. So very, very, very excited about that event. It's the first one in Southern California. The first one was in Santa Clara County approximately 2 weeks ago. And they combined theirs with their homeless stand down, and they saw close to about 2,000 veterans during their stand down, and they were able to adjudicate about 450 claims same day. So really excited about that event. Additionally, we have filled several vacancies, both for accredited veteran service officers as well as administrative staff. So there's going to be a new wave of new faces that are coming into the department that you'll see when you're walking through. Some will be stationed out of Patriotic Hall. A few will be providing more coverage to the San Gabriel Valley, where there's a lot of need, and VA services are quite a ways away from our veterans that live out in those communities. So excited to bring them on. Want to briefly mention the Calvet Leadership Summit that I was able to attend, and some of our staff were able to attend down in San Diego. Very well put on. A lot more leaders at that summit than in the past. So really appreciate leadership from Calvet and the work that they're doing with their bringing leaders across the state together and putting out valuable information so that we can bring that back to our counties and provide better care to our veterans and family members. We continue to move forward on the VPAN MVA integration. We had a meeting with SD2 and SD4 teams that the provider down there is the USS Iowa. We went down there and kind of just had our first initial meeting about, where we're headed and what we're doing. Really stressing the one team approach, that we are working as one team, and felt like the conversation was really well received. So very excited about continuing that work and getting out to the other districts. You might have seen in the news that over 800 veterans who were discharged from the military because of their sexual orientation, were given automatic administrative upgrades. It's a good start, but we have thousands more out there that need that discharge upgrade. For those that reside in LA County right now who are kicked out because of their sexual orientation, or kicked out for untreated mental health, or kicked out for MST, kicked out for any reason, we do have legal services available that we can refer you to. We have our new phone line, which is 1-877 4LA Vets, 1-877 4LA Vets. Also, you can reach out to us at info@MVA Military Veteran Affairs.lacounty.gov. Either way, we'll get you in touch with one of our reps to make sure that you get taken care of. We also do disability claims, pension. We have the Veteran Peer Access Network, so we can connect you with a peer. But just wanted to put that out that there is legal services out there to help individuals that are discharged from the military.
Director, can we engage, or do you want to wait until we're done?
Yeah, please. Interactive is good.
With the VPAN transition, is the thought that one district will be brought over at a time, or is it going to be all 5 districts at one time? What's sort of the idea with the transition?
Yeah, so the contract came over October 1st. So they're all transitioned over to the Department of Military Veteran Affairs. We're just doing our initial reset meetings. We've had several meetings with Department of Mental Health leadership around kind of what their role looks like. So the Department of Mental Health, they're moving away because of Prop 1 from doing the traditional VPAN navigation and peer support and moving more towards a FSP, full service partnership treatment model. So veterans and family members that we run into in VPAN or MVA that have severe mental health issues, we will refer over to the DMH specialty team that deals with veteran and military family members. And then we will, MVA will do the claims piece. So continue to to play that role. And then VPAN will handle everything else. So whether it's linkage to employment, linkage to food, for food insecurity, referrals, things like that, VPAN will continue. So the public should not see any change in service when they reach out. It switched departments, but the county family is still here to serve you exactly the way we were before.
And you mentioned the 800 discharge upgrades. Is that nationally or is that in LA County?
That's the nationally.
Somebody woke up one day, got a letter saying you're now honorably discharged, or did they have to apply for it?
I'll
Or
have to look into that, but
Yeah.
I think they notified over 800 folks.
that's great.
But I'll look into that and let the commission know.
Thank you.
Director, I'd like to bring up the claims fair. First and foremost, the same day adjudication is really awesome. Have there been any progress that makes a same day adjudication a little bit easier on the county? Or are we working with the same systems that have been in place? And if so, is there anything that can be pushed policy wise to help more same day adjudication claims possible?
Yeah, so this is the first same day adjudication clinic in Southern California. The VA has been doing them across the country. Since I think the first one was in Denver at the National Association of County VSO conference. They participated in, I think, a 4-day claims clinic. So these are just pop-up clinics that are going on around the country. Having a consistent presence is not, I don't think the VA is exploring that at this time. But yeah, there's been a series of improvements that the Veteran Benefits Administration has taken part in. There's the Modernization Act, which has really streamlined and automated the process. So you'll see you can submit a fully developed claim. That was part of the AMA that was passed. So traditionally, like growing up, my dad, who was a Vietnam vet, would have to wait about 3 to 5 years to hear back from the VA. Now the average time is about 3 to 6 months. So for the more current generation, we've experienced a lot of positive change in the VA and the amount of time it takes to get back. We've noticed a increase in uptick in claim activity as a result of the PACT Act and the increased eligibility. That's something else that we've seen recently. A big thing that we're really focusing on is getting partnerships with other county departments. Generally, folks that interact with the county, it's not because they're doing great, it's because they need assistance from county. So we want to make sure that all the veterans and eventually the family members of veterans are given an option to opt in to a referral from our department so that we can see if we can provide education around how to navigate the VA and get enrolled in the VA healthcare, get benefits, et cetera. So that's really kind of been a main priority of the department over the last several months.
Awesome. And then 2 years ago, I at least received notification that it was about 2 out of every 10 veterans were service connected. Do we know kind of what that national standard is right now on service connection for veterans?
Yeah, I'm not sure on the national standard, but according to the 2020 census, about 25% of veterans residing in LA County were service connected. That's the most latest data that I have. And also our utilization overall of VA benefits and services is a little bit lower in LA County than other places. So that's something that we're always focused on. VPAN has done a good job of bringing more veterans into the fold and getting them enrolled in healthcare and or VA benefits, but we're still a little bit below the national average.
Thank you.
Director, along with the line of questioning for the claims fair, is there a priority, or do you know, just for clarification for people who are interested? Thank you. Is there a priority for individuals if they're starting new claims or if they have pre-existing claims, or is it just everybody can come in? Is there a queue, or do you know how that would work?
Yeah, so we're targeting our outreach specifically for veterans experiencing homelessness, but any veteran that shows up will get taken care of.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So I can go ahead and run through the slides if that's okay. All right. hopefully more questions will come. So this is just a breakdown per location. You can see a lot of claim activity up north in northern SD3 and then Antelope Valley and SD5. Of course, Bob Hope is one of the largest producer of claims too, as far as locations. Speaking to my supervisor staff, they believe that the numbers are a little bit lower than usual because some veterans are holding off until the claims clinic next week, which was very interesting. If you go back in previous months, you'll see patriotic calls usually around 550, 600. Antelope Valley is still kind of where they normally are, but the 100 to 120 decrease of Bob Hope patriotic call, our best analysis is that it's because veterans got the message about the same day claims clinic and are holding off for that. But this is how we kind of look at like our utilization of resources. And so, you know, we meet regularly to talk about, do we have enough staff in the Antelope Valley? Do we have enough staff at this location? So that we're meeting the need where we're seeing it out in the community. This is on top of continuing to pursue relationships with cities to establish a veteran access point in cities that are not close to anything VA related. The big challenge is for veterans that want benefits here in LA County that want to talk to somebody in person. The VA offers generally one location. They do some clinics and they participate in outreach events. But typically a veteran would have to go out to West LA at 11,000 Wilshire to see somebody in person. But if a veteran wants to receive benefits help online, the VBA has a great, LA Regional Office has a great online scheduling platform where you can go in, schedule a date and time, and then you can receive a call from the VA. So we really try to fill the gap, and that's why we're back in person. That's why we're looking at partnerships with different cities to get out there where the veterans reside. And also partnering with cities allows us to tap into their expertise of their area and their communication platform with their constituents. And so we've had some growing success in that area to expand access. Next slide. This is just a quick breakdown of types of claims. You'll see in the bottom, miscellaneous claim activities, non-audible. Those are interactions with veterans that didn't result in filing a form or a claim or an application for a driver's license or anything like that. So that's what that 1,211 indicates. And then you see like a less claims in the month of September. And again, our best analysis is that claims clinic, some veterans are holding out for that. And then plus the CalVet fee waiver, us county VSOs, we call it this tsunami, the fee waiver tsunami. So as children and dependents of veterans are looking to utilize those fee waivers, we see a great influx during those times when they're getting ready to start school. Next slide. Justice Involved program. So right now we have one staff, Raimundo, who's.
Director, can I follow up on one item on the type of claims?
Yep.
Does that also include veteran plates?
Yes. Yeah, if it's a veteran plate, it would not be in a non-audible because we're providing a form. It would be an audible claim.
Right. But that's included in the miscellaneous claim activities?
No, can we go back one slide, please? That I'll have to look into that, but the way that's structured right there, it looks like it is.
Yeah, I think so. Well, you mentioned the driver's license identification, which made me think of the license plate, which I assume is in there.
Yeah.
The only reason why I bring it up, and I know we're ending, we're getting to the end of the year. We probably won't get, CalVet just because of our schedule regarding the bylaws and recommendations. But last time I read, the regs is that there is a potential for a rev share with the supporting organization. And I wonder to what extent, if a veteran has a specialty plate, that some of those funds would be shared with this department. Are you aware of that? Is it my interpretation right? Or
Yeah, your interpretation's right. We would need to have a CalVet representative to talk more about that, present to the commission. But yeah, that is a possibility.
Okay, maybe that's something we can do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a huge partnership opportunity. Sure.
Yeah, my understanding that in the past, there was conversations with the VSOs,
Hmm.
with Calvet about having a license plate with the VSOs on the license plate.
Right.
And there was a request to have some of that, a small portion of that money come back to the VSOs.
Right.
So there has been conversations
Right.
historically around that.
Okay.
Awesome.
'Cause I know Commissioner Crooks wants a veteran license plate with Bob Hope Patriotic Hall as the emblem. That's what I heard. Sure, Commissioner.
Hear me?
Yep,
Don.
yep, they got you.
Hi, Director. I just have a question regarding the education of VRNE benefits. So with the PACT Act getting passed a couple of years ago, I know that we're anticipating a lot of veterans becoming eligible for, more service-connected ratings. Is your office also preparing for that as well? So as the veteran becomes qualified, also their dependents become qualified for Calvet tuition fee waiver. Is that part of the tsunami that you guys are planning for?
Yeah. So it would be just an increased volume across the board. So when we have our tuition fee waiver tsunamis, we would get an influx, but it's an even greater influx. And the department is expanded a lot over the last couple of years to meet that need of the PACT Act and make sure that we're able to process claims quickly. Historically, some of the criticism that we get as county VSOs across the state is it takes a while to get in to see us. And so we've really been having those conversations with county leadership around the need to expand staff, and we've expanded. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but we've expanded double digits in the number of veteran service officers that we've brought on to meet that need.
I'm just got curious. And with the expansion of claims, you find it's a little bit more Vietnam veterans that are now applying that wouldn't, as they get older, wouldn't have applied before?
Yeah, we definitely get a lot more Vietnam and Vietnam era veterans.
Yeah.
I just helped a 77-year-old Vietnam veteran who ended up, he broke his hip, never engaged with the VA, actually never engaged in healthcare until he fell down the stairs at 77 and broke his hip. He was released from the hospital into a step down medical respite, and he got put on our radar by a family friend of his. And so we worked to get him enrolled in healthcare. Shout out to LA Regional Office Director Emmett Umero, who went out there personally and worked on the veterans claims in the recuperative care unit. He got checked into the VA. He's now 30% service connected less than a couple of weeks later. But what keeps me up at night, as much as I want to celebrate that, what keeps me up at night is how many of those Vietnam veterans are not getting put on our radar or the VA's radar or anything like that. So
I can honestly tell you, of the ones that I come across, my generation, it's a hard sell sometimes.
Yeah.
Except the older they get, then they're more open. Well, maybe I can go down there. Maybe I can get a card. Maybe I can do this. And when they get there, they go, I never knew all this was, I could get all this. And I just want to give a shout out to all your VSOs on the tuition fee waiver, that they are crossing them there, dotting the i's and crossing the t's. Because when they mess, just so you all know, when they mess up on a tuition fee waiver, it comes back and the people they come back to my board, and that's where they try to get it. And usually it's something that the VSO didn't tell them, and then we're finding less and less of that, So thank you.
yeah. Another real quick before we go over to Commissioner McFadden. One partnership we're really proud of is the Long Beach VA. They have a unit, medical unit that goes out and takes care of aging veterans in their homes. And so we intentionally partnered with them for those reasons. And we just helped a 108-year-old World War II veteran get 100% service connected, and their family has been giving a lot of praise to our staff that helped make that happen.
First time you'd actually even put a claim in, probably.
First time, 108 years old, 100%.
8 years old.
Yes, Commissioner, 108. He's now in Texas with his family. He's being honored. They're naming an airfield after him for his contributions during World War II.
So now I have two questions. What was the name of the organization again? in Long Beach that helped, that
It
goes
was
to that?
the VA Medical Center.
It was the VA Medical Center.
Yeah, they have a medical unit that's specific to providing in-home care for aging veterans. And so those are the type of things that we're intentionally partnering with because we just, I mean, you want to get any of our VSOs worked up, bring a 77-year-old Vietnam vet in the office or a 108-year-old World War II vet that has never gotten help, because we take that personal, and that's a sign that we need to continue ramping up our efforts to find those veterans that, you know.
As the population gets older, a lot of them for years decided I'll give it to the other guy. He needs it, but he needs it
Yeah.
more. Then all of a sudden they realize all the things that are wrong with them. They said, oh, well, maybe I could get it checked out by the VA. But it's when if they send a team out, then they realize all the things, like you say, they may be 100% not know it.
Has there been any effort, or have you heard any feedback about Vietnam vets in particular? The claims they're being denied because they don't have access to their files. Like a lot of things are, gone by the wayside, or they never really attested to injuries, or they didn't complain about much in this generation. I'm finding, speaking to a lot of people, that they're submitting for claims and they're like, well, we don't have any medical records that you ever said this was an issue. And now here you are some years later, like, well, when exactly did that happen in that one particular point in time to show or demonstrate that that service connection to whatever this injury is? Is that something that you've heard, and is there any effort to kind of remedy this situation? Because there's a lot of people that would follow, a lot of Vietnam vets in particular that would fall into that category of lost records, just memory recall in general, or just even getting treated at that time for anything.
Yeah, most people probably have heard about the fire that happened in Missouri a while back that burned a lot of records. I think it was in the 80s, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, we do run across that. Sometimes, in rare occasion, people who did special assignments in the military, their records are sealed. When we have complex cases, that's when we'll look at referring to a lawyer to help in those complex situations. But generally, what I would say to any veteran that got denied on that basis, keep coming back. And we will continue to work with you to problem solve, to find the right resource. If we can't figure it out ourselves, our protocol in the department is to refer to our lawyers, our partner lawyers, to look into it, because they have a lot more time. VSOs, we see 10, 15 individuals a day. The attorneys, they tend to have caseload of about 110, 120 for the department at any given time, and they have a lot more time to do like the research, things like that. And that's how we kind of determine where the referral needs to go. So if you have not been referred to an attorney and you're having issues getting denied because of records, please come back and ask to be referred to our legal resource.
And then do we still partner, or not partner, use a better word? Are referrals still coming in, or are you seeing individuals utilizing other agencies like ICLC, like Inner City Law Center? We have the Veterans Legal Services Project. I know they do a bunch of things as well. Are those agencies kind of, is there a relationship where they're saying, hey, this is what we're having, and so people can go to either one of those within the LA County area? I know that these exist.
Yeah, so what we're finding is a lot of the public service legal attorney offices are at capacity for things like tenant eviction, things like that. So I recently met with Chief Deputy Santana and the Director of Department of Consumer and Business Affairs to kind of talk through that. They have additional funding to kick out for legal services. It's just everybody's at capacity. So we're looking at attorneys that work in the veteran realm to see if we can help the county grow capacity to address those issues. One thing that I like to point out is traditionally the department hasn't had legal resources for family law. We issued out an RFSQ. We got some respondents. We're looking to contract with a law firm to help with family law. We're going to kick that out to the VPAN. We'll through the VPAN network, and then also make sure we make announcements when that's online. But that's been something that I've heard directly from the Veteran Peer Access Network staff since I was with the Department of Mental Health. So we're eagerly bringing that on.
Thank you.
One more question, sir. Have you found that, as the older, I'm gonna just say Vietnam veterans, older veterans, a lot of, now when veterans get discharged, now they have complete physical, mental, everything. Back in the day, here's your discharge, goodbye. We don't check you, we don't do anything. You never went to the hospital, no matter what's wrong with you. That's what, and there's no records. And all of a sudden, the guy finds out he's got this or this or that. You find you're having a lot of that.
Yeah, that's the work that we do. It's kind of, it's, you know, knowing the 38 CFR, so knowing appellate law. So we ask a lot of our VSOs, but it's also an art. It's really making sure that we're encouraging staff to leverage the entire VSO staff here in the department to like run certain scenarios by. So we get somebody who doesn't have any documentation while they're in, and that VSO gets stuck. We use Microsoft Teams to kick out the scenario to all the VSOs
Oh, all right.
to get input to figure out how to kind of put a good case together in those type of situations. So we're looking to expand that with VPAN. So a big thing with our peers out in VPAN, it's easy to feel like it's all on you to figure out that resource. And so we're looking at ways to, you know, first communicate that, you know, we don't fail alone, we fail together. But also leveraging the network, all the MVA staff, all the VPAN staff to problem solve, because VPAN is really designed to be where the buck stops. And we do not want to have any situation where we say, sorry, we can't help you.
Okay.
Next slide, please. So Justice Involved program. So we have one staff who's in the county jails and prison. He has one person, another VSO that does assist with some of with the prison and the jail up north, to really get in front of veterans. We really appreciate our partnership with LA Sheriff Department. They've done a great job of creating veteran pods in the jails and having all the veterans in one place. As you can imagine, it's much easier to see a lot more veterans when all the veterans reside in one place. They also report that they're seeing a lot of other positive effects of doing that programming, such as kind of moving out of jail politics into more like supportive, like veterans supporting each other, policing their own area. So they're planning to continue to expand that programming. But this is what we're able to do. We served 84 at any given time. The Sheriff's Department reports they got 250 to 270 self-identified veterans. Unfortunately, we're not able to get to all the veterans that are incarcerated, but as a county, we're pursuing funding. As a department, we're pursuing funding to build out the Justice Involved division and make sure that we're seeing every veteran that's self-identified in our jail system here in LA County. Next slide. Indigent burial program. This is a partnership with our medical examiner. When we have veterans who don't have families, we work with them to apply for that burial benefit on behalf of the veteran to offset the cost to the county through the medical examiner. That data is correct. We didn't have any in the month of September. That's a good stat. That means that we didn't have any veterans pass away that were indigent during the month of September, or at least that came to our department.
What monetary awards, does that go back to the county or?
Yeah, that goes back
In
to
other
the
words,
county.
The county submits to the VA to pay for their burial?
Yeah, we get the money from the VA that goes back to the medical examiner.
Okay, because I know that they take and bury them in Riverside.
Yep.
And if they have all the information, they give them, they do all the stuff that they need to.
Yeah, and we've started having conversations with National Cemetery Administration and the medical examiner to look into opportunities to have cremated veterans remain at LA so that their families are closer. Just very initial, but that's something that came from the community that they wanted. So we're pursuing that. And the VA and the medical examiner are both interested in seeing how we can make that happen.
I'm sorry, is there currently anything about who gets cremated and who doesn't?
I would have to get back to, we'd probably probably need to request the medical examiner and the Department of Public Health to
Okay,
come in and talk.
yeah, just,
do that.
that's curiosity.
Next slide. 1807 program. This is the program with DPS, Department of Public Social Services. We get referrals through what's called an MCO5 form from DPSS. We work with those veterans to get enrolled in VA healthcare, to submit its claim. The department gets reimbursed 10 times the normal rate for a claim if we file a claim through the 1807 program. So the counties are very incentivized to work with veterans going through their Department of Public Social Service offices to get those veterans onto VA healthcare and to get their claims filed. Next slide. Homeless Services Division. This is some data around what we're doing there. Some outreach and partner collaboration. We continue to be embedded with the VA, Greater LA VA healthcare system, their SIRS team, as part of the One Team effort. We've seen dramatic cultural change in the homeless service providers through One Team, which has basically been, we all emphasize together and we all sign on to the same kind of rules and, guidelines that, we look at ourselves as equals. We're not, looking at us versus them. It's about being there for the mission of housing veterans. Next slide. We're going to make this slide a little less busier in the future, but these are a breakdown of every veteran experiencing homelessness, what exactly type of claim and what we help them with. Next slide. And we're starting to, could we go back a slide, please? So we're starting to develop relationships with our housing authorities, take a look at voucher utilization. As you can see, tenant-based voucher utilization is really, there's a lot of work to do there. There's over a couple of thousand unutilized tenant-based vouchers just through LACDA and HACLA. The city and the county have been looking at ways to utilize vouchers. It's a priority with the One Team and the VA to look at options. We're exploring what's called a designated service provider application to the Secretary of the VA through the Housing Authority to be able to refer to ourselves to really utilize a lot more of the vouchers. But this is a priority here locally, is to get those vouchers in the hands of veterans experiencing homelessness so that they're able to.
Yeah, I just want to call attention to this slide because I think the information here is extremely valuable. And this is just, two of many public housing authorities in LA County. And I would hope over time HSD develops those, data sharing agreements with the other public housing authorities. But I think this is a great start. And it's, in my opinion, this is something that we all advocated for, pulling Measure H funds into the department. And now we're starting to see the results of the, data tracking and hopefully that then, turns over into, policy changes or implementation strategies. So I really think that this is a great start. So bravo to the Homeless Services Division.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're headed. We have 8 more local housing authorities that we need to partner with and provide this information for the commission and the public on a regular ongoing basis. Next slide. So part of it, talked a little bit about establishing additional MOUs and partnerships with cities to expand access where veterans are, but it's a distance to get to VA services. So that's just a breakdown there. You can see some of the cities. We definitely focus on underrepresented or underrepresented areas. So that's that piece. Next slide, please. This, with the merger of VPN and MVA, this slide is going to go away in the future because it's a lot less relevant. But this is a slide just kind of demonstrating how many referrals we receive from VPN into MVA to establish claims and other services that we provide. Next slide, please. Aging veteran referral program. So we do have an MOU with the Department of Aging and Disability. As you can see, 2 referrals is not very many. So we're continuing to, our staff are going to continue to schedule trainings with aging and disability staff to really talk about the benefits and then overview the referral process. The referral process is a Microsoft Access link where they can just put in very minimal information if the veteran opts in. That will generate an email over to our department, and then our staff will schedule a time to reach out to speak to that veteran who opted in for a referral. So we haven't set a goal, but I can tell you it's a lot higher than 2 where we want to get. We estimate that close to about 1,600 veterans are receiving services from aging and disability countywide. So we have a ways to go here.
I will add to this one too. I'm really grateful to see the Aging Veterans Referral Program. There's been many tables I've sat at and many councils I sat at where oftentimes veterans are expressing that the veteran is deprioritized after the age of 65 due to senior services funding and the county conflicting with veteran resources. So I'm just really grateful to see that we're adding more attention to in-home caregiving for veterans. And I look forward to platforms where these same veterans that were speaking about veterans who are aging out are also promoting this type of program, because we would definitely see a greater impact than 2. Most of the loudest advocates in our veteran community have been expressing the need for aging veteran referral program. And I just really hope that they are attending places like this commissioner meeting to see that the county is allocating resources to seek some type of compromise to what's being expressed out by the community. Thank you.
Director, I don't know if you remember at one of the Calvet leadership meeting, it was one of the issues that I brought up, and it was for personal reasons, really. And I can identify with some of the things that happen as you age and going to the VA hospital and not being able to address it.
Yeah, a couple of years ago at the Calvet Leadership Summit, that was one of the state's priorities too. So I know it is on the VA's radar. It's on the state's radar, obviously on our radar here at LA County. So, you know, we got a ways to go, and our number of aging veterans are increasing rapidly. So that is on our radar. Next slide. So this data around who's accessing the building and what the reason to access. So you can see folks coming to the building to access MVA services is really kind of the primary reason and draw to the building. The event space is second place, which is about 40% of those, that number that are coming to MVA. And then you have our other tenant providers. AJCC is obviously our contracted veteran employment service. So they are right behind event and who's coming. And then you can see on the right side the reason that they're coming for: legal assistance, meeting, job assistance, etc. Next slide. Yeah, this is just a bar graph, taking the numbers and putting it into a graph. Next slide. Administration. So supplemental budget was approved by the Board of Supervisors October 8th of this month. It reflects the transfer of the VPN contract to MVA and a few other admin positions. One was an IT manager and the other one was administrative staff to help out with HR. To this date, we've only had one IT staff, which I think a lot of those on the commission knew that issue. We really prioritize that in our ask, and so we're currently looking for an IT manager. There seems to be a shortage, so you'll probably see an announcement around a job bulletin around looking for somebody with that skill set. So I'd appreciate the commission's and the public's assistance in getting that job bulletin when we put it out here soon, getting it out to applicants. Commissioner?
Have you checked into the internship, the veteran internship from Department of Personnel?
Yeah, the IT manager position is such a high
No,
level
but
that
I'm just
unless,
talking about for like your HR staff and things like that.
yeah, we partner really closely with DHR, as you can imagine, their VIP program. The job classes,
I know it's
yeah.
minimal because they don't offer a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, if we have somebody that, and we're gonna kick the job bulletin out to the commander over at LA Air Force Base, his staff, to see if there's any transitioning Space Force, Air Force members that with IT experience that might qualify. In that situation, if they don't necessarily qualify right out of the service, we'd recommend them over to the veteran intern program, and then we could move them into that position, but somebody would have to have a lot of specialized.
Okay, just ask.
I thought you were raising your hand to
No,
apply.
no.
You don't want to be the IT manager?
No,
Okay,
no.
just checking.
I can't barely work my computer.
Yeah, so the funding request for additional funding at supplemental approved. We're currently working with the board offices and CEO to look for potential funding to get that division off the ground. And we requested one position for suicide prevention that there wasn't funding to approve that either, but we're looking at additional options there. Next slide.
Use the microphone, please.
The suicide prevention was not approved.
Yes, that's true. So this breakdown in slides around human resources. So just kind of the last 3 months, who we've brought on, new hires. So a couple of new supervisors. We had Esmeralda, who has been a longtime DPSS staff member, leader, and she came over to MVA recently. She's overseeing Supervisorial District 1 and 5. She's also a Marine Corps veteran. So very happy to have her on board. And then most recently, Manny Gomez, who started with VPAN and worked his way up, was promoted to supervisor. He's going to be overseeing SD2 and SD4. New supervisors. And management analyst is a mid-level admin personnel. So we hired one. We hired who's working with George, the building manager. So those are the hires. Next slide. And you're going to see a lot more in October, as I mentioned previously. Next slide, please. So this is just, so it says promotions of classification. One of these months, I'm actually going to fix that language. It should be vacancy rate percentage. You can see the vacancy rate is decreased a little bit in between August and September. We do have some, we're always going to have some vacancy for salary savings, but we try to minimize that. So next slide. It's important information. I hope everybody caught that.
Are you still looking for volunteers for like the front desk and things like that?
Yeah, we got, I think, yeah, this is the slide that where we talk about that. We're bringing on, you won't see, we're bringing on a TSE. So that's supplemental employment. It's subsidized employment. We're bringing on an additional TSE to work the front desk. We have a work study, VA work study that's going to be also starting next month.
I had a person ask me that was a county retiree, and they were asking if they could come down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you go to our website, there's a link where you can apply. We have a
Okay.
software program that automates a lot of the volunteer onboarding process. But yeah, we would love to have county retirees for sure.
Do you know off the top of your head how many VA work studies are with the department?
My best guess is approximately about 5 to 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, there's a cap for any particular organization, how many work studies you can have
Yeah, you apply and then the VA,
approved.
Muskogee and the office of Muskogee, it tells you how many you're allowed to have.
Are we capped?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what the number is, but we're currently recruiting more work studies.
Okay.
So this is just a break here. So always trying to bring on more volunteers, and we really give our volunteers the option of work at the front desk, either downstairs to do kind of some of the concierge work, have conversations, be the face of the department when folks come in, or they can work on the volunteer on the second floor, where they're going to learn a lot about benefits. They're going to get a lot of questions, so they get a lot of training and exposure to the issues that bring veterans to the second floor and their family members. We're also with the onboarding of the new foundation, which was approved by the department, or approved by the board on the 8th of this month. There's going to be a lot more work around artifacts and military history. And so we have a section where volunteers can apply to work in that field, working events and putting together, curating displays like the one that you see downstairs. We're very excited. The new executive officer that works out of the Hall of Administration, Ed and I had a conversation. He's open to having displays similar to the one that we have down in our lobby over at the Hall of Administration to get more exposure of our rich history here in LA County. So we're going to, in the future, as we kind of build up and have capacity, start putting together displays to uplift military heritage and culture over at the Hall of Administration as well. So that list of volunteers, you can see we've onboarded 5 work studies over the last 5 months. And one thing to remember that sometimes I forgot is it's not just veterans that are VA work studies, also dependents. Chapter 35, as Commissioner Chavez was talking about earlier, we welcome dependents who are utilizing Chapter 35 to work study as well, to work study with us as well. Next slide, please. This is just a breakdown of social, both reach and engagement. Next slide. Legislative updates. There's quite a bit going on, but this is probably the most, this was the most urgent. 9468 was to fill a gap for about a $3 billion deficit on the VBA side for that final month before the reset of the new federal fiscal year. It could have had a pretty drastic impact on veterans receiving benefits in LA County. The county quickly, our legislative affairs, intergovernment folks really worked fast to get a letter of support to Congressman Garcia to support that legislation to fill that gap. So that was passed, and we had no interruption of benefits here in LA County or across the country. I think, one thing that we're really having conversations about is related to justice involved veterans. So in the picture, you see Ali Samino with the House Committee of Veteran Affairs. We've had conversations with her and others around when veterans are incarcerated after that 60th day, their compensation goes from whatever percentage down to 10. If they're at 10%, it goes, they get half of that amount of money. And it's really problematic for veterans that find themselves incarcerated with families, because that family's used to that income. It goes away and they're really put into a hardship. That money goes back to the VA general fund and it's reallocated, repurposed. So really looking at a legislative fix to where after that 60 a day, maybe money goes into a escrow account or some kind of account for the veteran to have immediate access once they get out. So they're not falling into homelessness upon release. And then for the families, veterans with families that are incarcerated, that it creates some kind of automatic apportionment to the veteran's family versus us hopefully finding them in jail or in the prison and finding out that they have families and that we have to file out an apportionment. The apportionment generally takes 60, 90 days to be adjudicated. Meanwhile, the family goes a long time without funding. So that's probably the number one issue and the area of greatest impact that we can have with legislation that we're currently having conversations with our federal elected officials. Next slide. And just to wrap up, I talked a little bit about the foundation. So it was approved on the 8th. The Warrior Heritage Foundation is ran by a gentleman named Justin Garza. The foundation is really there to uplift military culture, history. They're also going to be renting out Patriotic Hall, similar to how the hall was rented out previously, to generate revenue, to add additional programs that maybe the county can't fund for our community here in LA County. And also really looking to engage in really just more flexibility to be able to get the services and the need met here in LA County. So we're very excited about that foundation coming up and being part of the solution here in LA County. And with that, that concludes my brief.
Thank you, Director. Commissioners, any follow-up questions? I thought it was a good exchange. It's been a while since we had a full department report, so you all have been very busy.
Yes, sir.
It's good stuff. So at this point, we'll ask anyone in the public if they have a comment regarding the director's report. Anyone in person? Okay. No one in person. Is there anyone online that would like to make a public comment regarding the director's report? If so, please raise your hand or chat in the comments. Okay, hearing none or seeing none from the secretary. And then I don't think we have any written comments on this particular agenda item. So we'll move forward to the next agenda item. Thank you again, Director. Future agenda items, commissioners were looking, we have 3 issues on deck. Commissioner or Vice Chair Fulmer, I believe you are in communication with someone at VA regarding OTH healthcare eligibility. Commissioner Gutierrez, I think we have the speaker scheduled for November or December. I think from our point of view, we want to just double check our holiday schedules to make sure that we're going to have quorum. Otherwise, it gets canceled. So I think I'll send out like a doodle. I don't know. Does anyone still use that? Do you know what doodle is? You compare your calendars. It's if you have 10 people, 20 people, you could just mark when you're available. But you know what? Maybe it would be just easier if everyone just emails the secretary whether or not they can make it in November or December.
Some of us are not
I
technically competent.
IT manager, the commission IT manager.
That's right.
So we'll know probably November if everyone's able to make it. And then we're still pending a briefing from LA County Department of Public Health once their general counsel has a discussion regarding the landfill.
Since you're already primed up with DPH right now on the landfill request, we did want to add the future agenda item for rev share to have Calvet come in with this license plate that we discussed earlier. Would you want to handle that?
I was going to throw that in the hat. I just wanted to,
Okay, awesome.
allow other commissioners a recap of what's on the agenda, and then I personally, I think it would be a good opportunity to get a briefing from Calvet on the license plate authority. And the reason why it comes to mind is, again, preparing for the centennial celebration. I think it's a great opportunity to say, hey, if you support, the department, if you support Bob Hope Patriotic Hall, here are a couple of things that you can do. Veteran designation on your driver's license, helpful. California license plate, helpful, so on and so forth. Any other suggestions? Topics? No? Okay. I don't think we're going to be able to get to everything by the end of the year, but we'll try. Unless you want to hold the special meeting, just, hey, I took that personally. That hurts my feelings. Okay, I'm hearing no other agenda items, potential future agenda items. We'll move forward to public comment regarding future agenda items. Is there anyone in person that would like to make a public comment? Is there anyone online that would like to make a public comment? Raise your hand or use the chat box, please. Good. Okay. No online comments, and then we have no written comments. So we'll move forward to the next agenda item. Commissioner announcements. Commissioner Crooks, the floor is yours.
Okay, I just want to take a minute to thank all those people that showed up to the Calvet the summit. Director Zenner, Commissioner Gutierrez, Commissioner Cito, who's not, is he here or is he online? He's okay, he's unavailable. And of course, Commissioner Palmero with the patch over her eye. That's a shout out for him. Let him know we're thinking about her. But it was, you would have found it it was probably I've been to every one of them. It was probably one of the best that I've actually, yeah, just about every one. You won't say how long that's been, but just about. So, but yes, and thank you. And thank you, Director, for the information that you gave today about the department. I found it very, very, very interesting.
Commissioner
Is that something?
Palmero, are you online? Do you have a announcement? Okay. Commissioner McFadden?
Hello. No, I have nothing. Oh, wait. I took advantage of the lifetime Parks and Rec military pass. So happened to be at the Presidio. It's one place where you can actually get a card. It was very easy. Took my dad, Vietnam vet. He walked in, showed his ID with the little veteran on it, and now he has a lifetime pass for the California parks and all of the forest and everything else. So apparently it's really, really simple. So I encourage you to take advantage of some of these things that we actually have benefits for that I didn't know existed.
Commissioner Jackson Kelly?
Yes, I attended the documentary Respect My Crown, which is about black hair and the fight that we've had over the years. It was at the Wilshire Ebell Theater on Sunday, and they had a panel discussion prior to the documentary, and Supervisor Holly Mitchell was one of the panelists because she was instrumental in us getting the law passed in California. She was one of the people that took an interest in this. I was really pleased to hear that the Wilshire Ebell Theater was built by women over 100 years ago. I didn't know that as many times as I've been there. So it's a beautiful theater. They are showing it again on the 25th, uh, the 25th of October as well. So if you would like to attend, it's free, which was the really drawing card. I attended the open house that was held here, and that was another eye opener because the sheriff department gave an excellent presentation on the crisis intervention team, and I think that's so important that we know more about that, considering the incidents of people losing their lives unnecessarily. Um, Also, I attended the Black Flight Attendants had their 50th anniversary, and it was at the Flight Museum in Hawthorne. And there was another surprise that I didn't know about. It's a very interesting museum, and I was pleasantly surprised when they asked me for my bio. I had no idea why, and they recognized me during their program. So I also would like to announce that on the 25th, Supervisor Mitchell is having another presentation on racial justice. She's been doing it for the past 2 years. And this one will be at the Gardenia Cinema from 5:30 to 7:30, if you would like to attend.
Thank you, Commissioner. I was going to pass on my commissioner announcement, but since Commissioner McFadden mentioned the National Parks Pass, I just want to make a reminder or a plug for recommendation 1 from the commission, which seeks to get veterans free access to county public lands. That was our first recommendation. So it would try to bring the county in line with the National Parks Pass. So thank you for reminding us about that. Commissioner Fulmer.
Yep, just 3 quick things. I really appreciate all the initiatives that are being done that require a start to finish. It was a pleasure to attend the Battle Boutique here in Bob Hope Patriotic Hall on the 12th, from start to finish, where female veterans were able to attend, get clothing, get services to help them get prepared and ready for job interviews, and just truly awesome to have that, youth safety on site so that it could attract not only the volunteers that are coming in, but the mothers and the parents themselves. What an honor. And going into that start and finish, working around Los Angeles County and their claims representatives, their VSOs in particular, just really want to emphasize on October 22nd, 23rd, out at Magic Johnson's Park in El Segundo. If you have friends that are veterans that haven't been service connected, or like many of mine, have been kind of teetering on wanting to get a better increase, that would be the place to take them. Magic Johnson Park, El Segundo, on the 22nd, 23rd. And it ends on this, as Director Center brought up, this social enterprise with veteran VSOs. There are a lot of long-standing VSOs in the VFWs, the American Legions, the DAVs, and I've just really, really encouraged these organizations to utilize teamwork to develop services for the community and come to the light with services they can provide to our community that would be referenced at a cost. We know right now, from food budgets to all sorts of things, from setup and tear down at events, there are already budgets in place for these services. And it would mean the world if these veteran service organizations found a way to use teamwork to develop these services to our community. I really look forward to these long-standing veteran organizations leveraging the teamwork that we have as veterans to develop services and continue to serve our community. That's it.
Commissioner Chavez? No announcements? Commissioner Gutierrez?
Sure. Just a few, I guess, shout outs. As Commissioner Crooks mentioned, the CalVet event, the CalVet Leadership Summit, always a good event. Look forward to it every year. Very well put on. The other event that happened the week before that was also a really good event. SoCal Grant Makers and USC and the State of the American Veteran. I think it was the last time we had that was pre-pandemic. But I would love to see that be an annual thing. A lot of data, a lot of conversation over the survey that was done. So very good event. Back-to-back weeks of really good events. Another shout out for actually the First District for their Veterans Day Ceremony and Resource Fair happening Saturday, November the 9th at Eugene Obregon Park at 10 a.m. So I'm sure I'm attending that one because that's always a good event as well. And then a quick question for whatever happened to the logo? Did we ever hear back about the logo?
We did. It's on hold. Commission Services has asked us to stand by while they look over their brand guidelines.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. I know you spent a lot of sleepless nights over that. So
I was, it hurt my feelings
sure
that Commissioner Noyola got his way. I call it the Noyola Notch. That's my informal name for it, but we're in standby.
That why it's taking so long.
No comment.
Great. That was it. Thanks.
Good reminder. We should check in with Commission Services about that. Okay, moving forward into the next item, which should be public comment regarding commissioner announcements. Do we have anyone in the public in person? Anyone online wishing to make a public comment regarding the commissioner announcements? Oh, we have one person in person.
Commissioners, I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the meeting, and so what I'm bringing up may or may not have been covered. I heard this morning, have not been able to verify it yet, that former Commission Chair Thomas Patrick O'Shaughnessy may have passed away. And I didn't know if anybody could confirm that or not. Thought you might want to look into it.
Thank you, and I think we'll look into it. Is there anyone online that would like to make a statement, public comment? And I don't think we have any written comments. Which should bring us to adjournment, if I'm correct. Okay. Thank you all for attending, whether in person or online, and we will see you next month. Thank you. Adjourned.